Hi folks, this is James from Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends. This time we're looking at the Qareen from Islamic texts and Arabic folklore. I hope you enjoy this one. The Qareen, a spiritual hitchhiker of the most unnerving kind. Imagine, if you will, a creature assigned to each of us at birth, lurking just out of sight like a ghastly understudy to our life's performance. This shadowy figure remains by our side, not as a benevolent protector, but as a sly corrupter, leading us down the crooked paths of temptation and folly. Found primarily in the folklore and beliefs of Islamic communities in the Middle East and North Africa, the Qareen is both fascinating and faintly terrifying, a malevolent doppelgänger to call one's own. Before we proceed, a necessary disentangling of threads. The Qareen must not be mistaken for the Karine, though both are creatures best kept at arm's length, and preferably further. The Karine is a female spirit, a destroyer of relationships, a wrecker of peace, and even a threat to children. By contrast, the Qareen is a more equal opportunity mischief maker, male or female, and indiscriminately assigned to all humans. But don't let its egalitarianism fool you. Like the Qareen is jealous, spiteful, and all too willing to sabotage your relationships and your life for reasons known only to its murky, otherworldly mind. From the moment a child is born, Islamic tradition teaches a Qareen is appointed to them. A boy finds himself shadowed by a female Qareen and a girl by a male one, a neat, if chilling, symmetry. The companionship of this spirit is not something you can outgrow or cast aside. It clings to you until your dying breath. And even then, the Qareen doesn't shuffle off to some spectral retirement home. Oh no, it lingers in the grave, an unwanted tenant biding its time until the day of judgment. On that day, it said, the Qareen will emerge to bear witness against its human counterpart, providing a celestial character reference of the most damning kind. Even the great and the good were not exempt from this spectral shadow. The Prophet Muhammad and the Prophet Jesus, though free from sin, had Qareens of their own. Uniquely, their Qareens were subdued by divine intervention, rendered harmless and even helpful, an exceedingly rare exception to the rule. The Quran itself gives us a tantalising glimpse of this spirit. In chapter 50 verse 27, we find the Qareen's defence. One's devilish associate will say, "Our Lord, I did not make them transgress, rather they were far astray on their own." This devilish associate is widely understood to be none other than the Qareen, shifting blame in a manner all too familiar. The Sunnah hadith also references the Qareen in a rather illuminating exchange. When asked by a woman if everyone had a Qareen, the Prophet Muhammad confirmed that even he was not exempt. However, he added his Qareen had been subdued by the Almighty and now guided him towards good rather than evil. What then can one do to thwart the Qareen? Islamic teachings suggest these spirits belong to a category of shaitan jinn, creatures with free will but with an overwhelming propensity for wickedness. While you can't evict a Qareen, you can mitigate its influence. The recitation of specific Quranic verses, notably chapter Al-Baqarah verse 250, is said to offer some protection against the creature's meddling. In his 1939 study, Studies in Popular Islam, Samuel Zwiemer catalogued some fascinating regional beliefs surrounding the Qareen. According to his findings, the spirit is largely invisible to the human eye, save for the occasional, and I use his word, idiot or prophet, though it often assumes the guise of animals, cats, dogs and other household creatures under the cover of night. This belief led many Egyptians to refrain from harming cats after dark, lest they incur the wrath of a lurking Qareen. Not that I'm accusing Egyptians of harming cats, you understand. North African communities in particular developed elaborate rituals to protect themselves and their children from these jealous spirits. Babies, viewed as especially vulnerable, were adorned with amulets and beads, while their mothers recited Quranic passages to ward off malevolent influences. During the first 7 days of a child's life, candles and water jugs were often placed near the baby's head as a form of spiritual barrier. The mother, meanwhile, was sternly cautioned against striking a cat during this period, lest she invite disaster upon herself and her child. The origins of the Qareen are as shadowy as the creature itself. Some scholars suggest it shares roots with the spirits of ancient Egypt, Sumer and Babylon. weaving a thread back through millennia of human myth and superstition? Could it be a distant relative of the Christian guardian angel? Perhaps the one is a comforting presence, and the other a meddlesome trickster, a celestial chalk and cheese, if you will. And so the Karine endures, both as a figure of folklore and a symbol of the eternal tug-of-war between virtue and vice. It lurks in the corners of Islamic tradition, a shadowy reminder of human fallibility and the unseen forces that shape our lives. If nothing else, it serves as a rather splendid metaphor, don't you think? For aren't we all, in some sense, shadowed by our own Karine? A whisper of doubt, a nudge towards mischief, a fleeting flicker of something darker within us. Have you got something to say about the Karine? Have we missed something important? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe as it helps us fund the channel. This has been James from Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends. I hope to see you again soon.